Revolution. We're now on episode number 5.
Jesus.
Today we got our dear friend Daniel,
Thank you very much, guys.
also known as
Pretty boy Danny.
Pretty Boy.
Y'all gotta know, y'all gotta respect the prettiness.
There we go, guys.
And as usual, we got myself and King Josh.
Yeah, we're back again. We're back. Guys, I think, when I start doing this, it's happening, it's fun. I'm just glad that we've got Danny here today. And trust me, the discussion that we're going to have today might make you guys shed some tears. I'm sorry to say that. One of those things.
Hopefully it's not too much tears for some of us spend 1 week.
Either that or it should give you a bit of a perspective, which is not perspective.
Yeah.
Or it's just gonna give you at this point you've got no control over how people respond.
Yeah.
To our podcast, but we do it in any case, and yeah, it's episode number 5. Who would have thought that 5 episodes later, we're still working, we're still acting?
Yeah, that's true because I've checked out quite a few podcasts out there. Some of them have flopped after episode 3,
Or episode
5,
1.
7, or episode 1.
It just ends right there.
One hit wonder.
Subscribe to my channel. And,
Done.
And we've got a list of like conversations and topics that we still gonna like discuss.
These are
It's
things that've been coming for years. It's not the content we have is not overnight things, guys.
no.
So I guess it's safe to say that we are rooted.
Yeah.
The seed was planted a while back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been going down further and further and further down.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see the tree, which is
Sprouting.
the Gazi revolution, which is what you're seeing. So if you're thinking that the Gazi revolution only started 5 episodes ago,
You are mistaken.
It ain't been too late, eh?
It started years ago, where we were just coming together, grinding, and basically lifting each other up from the ground, because that's what we've been doing for the past 5, not even 5 years, like more than 5 years. I've known Daniel for most of my teenage life into my adult life.
I
And
thought you were going to say you're still a teen.
I was like,
He's still a teenager.
I've known him since like I was a teenager,
Yeah.
and he's probably the one guy that I've known the longest that is still around me
And alive.
and alive. And
That's the way.
or caught up in some weird marriage,
Amen.
whatever, some weird relationship.
So
So
touch base on that.
big ups to Danny.
Yeah.
And obviously Joshua, we discuss how we started our thing and
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And
Come this far.
that's fine.
We have come this far.
We are. Episode number 5.
This bike is moving even if it doesn't have petrol.
Yeah, it's
gonna
going.
move.
Guys, you know what? I think that's one of the things. Sometimes we lose steam when life happens outside, I think this is a discussion that we had internally earlier on is about keeping that momentum, It's, what is it? You said high functioning?
Yeah, some
It's,
of
it's,
us
it's
are
about
high
rising,
functioning.
it's about rising above whatever issues are still going around you and actually getting the job done
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would look at other people and say, but maybe they don't have issues. Maybe no, guys. We just find ways around it.
Yeah, of course.
We have to get the job done.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yes.
we will not be able to put something out there each and every week.
Yeah.
And it is about just getting down and being disciplined, being consistent, and just putting something out there. You understand? And that's what we're about. And I don't think we're going to stop because we got to 5. And in my mind already, I can see episode 10. And you understand? But I do
got a
take
lot
it.
of episodes planned,
Yeah.
So yeah. Now that we got that out the way, it's a whole history which I think, we like I said, we've got like some sort of video where we're just gonna talk about like certain things that we want to chat about out there, but just something to look forward to.
Yeah.
With that being said, just a quick shout out to our sponsor, Capable Solutions,
Yeah.
for all your accounting needs. Please, please, please contact Capable Solutions. The number will appear at the end, as well as our WhatsApp number,
Yes.
right, where you get to leave your comments and the questions or whatever it is. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the like button right there.
Yes, please. And your
As well.
comments.
And your
very
comments,
much needed.
very, very
Very
important.
much needed. Yeah.
And we make we want like an audio version of your comments, so we have a WhatsApp number that you could just send the voice note to.
Yeah.
And you can also check us on Spotify. The Gazi Revolution is also available on
Instagram.
Instagram, TikTok.
That's still under King Josh. But man, follow me. You will see there's a few short clips there that I put for Gazi Revolution. But it's under King Josh _210326. Yeah, you can find me there.
Damn, man's got an area code under his TikTok.
Yeah.
What?
I need to think bigger here, eh?
Hey, man,
Can't be
push it,
small-minded here,
man.
eh?
Hey, man,
No ways.
It works, eh? It works, eh? I'm just like hashtag. What? I'm a finest man.
You want to find me?
We need to. Of course, 100%.
And then is there any way they could get a hold of you? Do you want to be out there?
Yeah, definitely. Y'all definitely can catch me. 100%. I'm not leaving this out. You guys can obviously catch me on Pretty Boy Danny on TikTok if you guys want to check me out. You guys will probably start seeing me more often. I don't know if the guys would want me still. We'll see. But trust me, they will.
Now we'll do a scorecard after this.
You know what I'm
Just to
saying?
check.
Yeah. I
If
mean,
you check all the boxes.
Yeah.
exactly. You guys can actually rate me if you guys like me. You still want me back. I mean, I think that will actually be a very interesting concept to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm too bad myself, Pretty boy.
Yeah, I was.
Hey, you abuse, yeah?
I'm gonna abuse the
I
situation.
knew that this guy comes onto
He
the
comes.
show. He's gonna be active. He's gonna be active.
I'm gonna be alive.
You know, it's needed, guys. It's needed because at the end of the day, sometimes you also don't want to just have tense conversations.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to at least
Relax.
Yeah,
Of
man,
course.
Come on,
Put
come
the soup
on.
in the gravy or the gravy in the soup and put the
Yeah.
pap and eat.
So and then bridal meat.
It's summer,
You take the
summer.
meat and put it in the fridge. Once you put it in the fridge, you take the pup and you touch it a little bit.
Anyway,
As we move on to
so guys, at the time of this recording,
Oh.
it is Father's Day, and that's what we wanna talk about. So Daniel, when I
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh.
When I spoke to Danny yesterday, and I was like, Danny, come join us for a podcast. It's
Yeah.
gonna be fun. I said something else, and then boom, Father's Day. And I think maybe you got the preview. You didn't know what was coming. That's what we're having a conversation. But as an icebreaker, you're a father, Josh. Could you tell us a little bit about how fatherhood impacts you? Because they impacted you, because it's not in the past.
It's an ongoing thing.
It's an ongoing
it's
thing.
continuous.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's continuous. Look,
You've got a how old your son?
sure, I've got a 17-year-old, I've got a 10-year-old, and I've got a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's for this year actually, I should be saying I've got an 18-year-old, I've got an 11-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
You got a grown man living in your house, bro.
Yeah, no, I got a grown man living in my house, guys. Yeah, I may not look the part at times, but yeah, that's that's what happens. Sure, dude. You know what, man? I can only speak from my experience. So basically, how it's impacted me, it's really shifted my mindset. It's not about me anymore. A lot of the times, although I do remember saying that most of the things I do for myself and they benefit from it. You understand? But I live for them. I can say that much, right? I live for them in a sense that I try to fill myself with enough so that I can make sure that they receive what I have. And it's not necessarily material things, guys. Sometimes it's knowledge. Do you understand? Because sometimes I need to be able to impart some knowledge onto my kids.
100%.
Sometimes it's teaching them manners, because I've realized our kids of today don't have the same kind of manners as kids from back then, because they are taught differently in the outside world compared to how I was taught. You know, and I try to find a way to keep them grounded. It's not easy. It's not easy because you're dealing with three different personalities, and at the same time, there is no true definition of what a good father or what an effective father is. A lot of people
100%.
think they do know, but because you are raising individuals,
Yes, it's not like collective. It's just each one has
It
their own
differs.
personalities. Very true.
it differs, and we live in a world where the blanket approach is being thrown out there for every situation or every child or every human being. You understand? But I've seen, bruh, I sit, Gazi, when I sit and I watch kids, man. Like I watch,
Like
I'm
been watching these kids.
but this one is like this, but that one is like that. You understand?
Yeah,
It's about
yeah.
paying attention. You pay attention, and there isn't. Maybe there are methods, but those methods don't work the same for every child. Just like it won't work the same for the three of us sitting here.
Very true.
You see that?
Yes.
What works for Danny doesn't work for you, maybe. What works for you doesn't work for me. And that's how it goes around, you understand? So you need to look at your kids in the same way. I remember having my brother on where he spoke about his two sons and how different they are. Do you understand? And that also based on the environment that the child grows up in. You understand? So I'll tell you guys this much. My 17-year-old was raised by my mom. So a lot of what he has been taught or whatever culture has been instilled in him, I kind of had to readjust, realign, because of now there's a belief system that was created with him. My daughter was raised mainly by her grandmother and her mother, right? So she's learning my ways, which is different. I'm very different from, because her grandmother passed away a few years ago, like 2 years ago, and that's where things are now. No, 3 years ago. It's June now, man. Yeah, 3 years ago, June. Yeah, and that's where things start becoming a bit weird. But she's starting to understand me and how I want things done, but it's not always easy. Then my son, because he was so young, right? It's easier for him to grasp what I expect.
Exactly.
Because he's so young.
He's still
So
moldable.
He's still moldable, you
Yes.
understand? So now imagine the fight amongst these three individuals,
Completely different.
age groups, stuff like that.
Yes.
It is very weird compared to when you married, you guys have children together at that time, living in the same house, right?
Still there, right?
So you are starting from grassroots levels to install whatever you need to install, whatever you would like to, cultivate.
100%. Yes.
It's very different. And then you obviously find where there's single moms out there. You also find where there's single dads out there. I think environment plays a very big role. In my case, fatherhood is really an ongoing journey. It's a learning curve on a daily basis. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop, because your kids don't stop growing just because, it doesn't stop. My son or my kids will be in their 20s, in their 30s. God willing, I'll still be alive. You understand? And I will still be learning something else. Because remember, I would love to have the open door policy when it comes to my children. I do not want them to solely be taught by the world outside, but I also want to have that little bit of influence in terms of knowledge and in terms of how they pave their future moving forward. Yeah.
So, I mean, one thing, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but like a lot of fathers do things upside down.
You're gonna have to explain this one. I'm curious about
Meaning that during the formative years they're not there, and then later on in life, that's when they're gonna start wanting
Oh,
be a part, to be a
be
part, yeah.
and to yeah, and it's not even the
Yes.
thing of like them being
Absolutely.
wanting to be a part of that guy or that girl's life. It's
Yeah.
about during that period because I'm noticing what you were saying, right? Is that when they're 26, well, when they're in their 20s, that's going to be more of a hands off phase of their lives.
Let them
You
go.
can't be still be on some look, listen, this is what you're supposed to do, you gotta be doing, you know. Whereas it's the time for you to do all of that stuff is when they're much younger, you know, the formative years. And then from there, the results come out, whether you did a good job or you did a terrible job with that, you know. And you mentioned something about like there's like there's no blanket approach to fatherhood, which I completely agree with, right? But I also think that the aspect of environments plays a major role in how a child gets
Yes.
raised, you know,
100%.
especially by the dad and the type of environments that the father has, right? Meaning his friendship group,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You look at most deadbeat dads, the group of dads that he has around him are,
Yeah.
are deadbeats, you know. I'm fortunate to have um, dads who are dads in their kids' lives.
Yeah.
You know, they're
Yeah.
bringing their kids to the gym and they're sitting there, they're watching their kids participate. And I'm like, I look at that and I admire that. You know what I mean? And which kind of leads me to like the next part about discussion. And we kind of have um, similar upbringings in terms of like fatherhood. Well, maybe you guys might not know this about me, but like probably like the first 6 years of my life, I had like a stepdad, right? And honestly, that guy, he played like a massive role in just, I don't know, the way that I viewed like having a dad. Like that guy was a dad to me, like a proper dad. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And then obviously relationships don't work out. My mom and the dude kind of went their separate ways. But like always in my head, he's there.
You would refer to.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like that guy. You know what? He used to take me to soccer games. He used to, bruh, like
You would sit and watch.
I was a cow.
I used to know that. Nobody would judge you.
Like when it comes to soccer,
I
cow.
don't blame you.
No one
That's
can
the
say
thing.
that.
But like that guy used to take me to soccer games and he used to watch me. So you know what? Big ups to all the stepdads who actually do stuff like that. You know, who are looking out for the
100s.
kids who are out there.
And even the
Right.
real dads.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, we can't neglect the real dads.
We're doing a lot out
You're
there.
talking,
to try our best.
dads, not.
Yeah.
It's Father's
Trying to
Day,
figure it out.
not Single Mother's Day.
Yeah, yes. I'm not even gonna touch that one. I'm not even gonna touch that
You're
one.
not there.
There's like memes going out of like these mothers, like
Should just squatting
you know,
300 kilograms.
yeah, dude,
It's reminding you I'm the man of the house and your mother.
like really, you know, and it's like it just chill for a bit. You know, I saw a very funny skit on Instagram. So there's, I think, the coolest something. And this guy, he's like, I would like to say Happy Father's Day to my mom.
Yeah.
Like, his voice cool. his voice really kind of, you know what, I think I'll look for that clip
Please do.
and maybe we'll put it at the end of the
We'll put it in
Yeah.
the
video, you know what I mean? But like,
No, we'll put it on top of this.
yeah. You know,
So that they can see.
yeah,
and then,
exactly. But like, you know, it's that kind of stuff that also just making me think. I mean, I don't have kids yet, but I have kids.
Yeah, you
You
do.
know,
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the kids you train.
besides
just-
that, but besides
Oh,
that,
not
I'm
just-
old school.
Oh, what? I'm like, and it's going to actually be
Papa was
season.
so good at
Then
soul.
go can call
When he made himself
No,
was
but
so.
but like, you know what? I'm a bit old school in my approach to like fatherhood, where I don't need to be like the biological, like dad to kids. A lot of kids at the gym, they're like, "Do you have any kids?" I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, "Where are your kids?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "But your kids." I'm like, "You're my kids." You know what I mean? They're like, "Nah, coach, stop that." I'm like, "No, son, listen."
You put some authority there. Maybe my man
Because
voice.
I really am about that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I treat other people's kids like my own, you know. And it kind of raises a bit of a question to me when the time does come, you know, for me to be a dad, that what is it gonna be?
Be like, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm diligently looking after other people's kids, you know, and it's like, yeah, and I'm very like, skeptical, and I wouldn't want my kids around certain people.
Yeah. But yeah, you can't also run away from that where you say you don't want. But your kids will have to learn from other people's behaviors.
Yes,
So one
the
thing I'll tell you,
environment.
they will have to see people for who they are
Mm.
by on their own.
Mm.
You know, you can't shield them from everything. And this is where I've also realized, like, dude, for as much as I would love to, you know, be that protective, overprotective, and all of that, there's sometimes I'm gonna have to let them
Make
be.
their own
You
mistakes.
spoke about that 26 when they're 20s and the 20s, and when you step back, I guess when they get to that point, it's a matter of I would love to be the sounding board
Mm.
more, you know, when they're making decisions about certain things, especially life changing, life altering decisions.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
I would love to be that guy. I would love to for them to be able to come to me rather than them running into the street. I don't know.
I've got a question though.
Yeah.
Are they already like your 18-year-old this thing? Right? Is he already doing that so far? Like coming to you with questions. I mean, like I can imagine when as a teenager hitting puberty.
Yeah.
You know, did he was he like, "Dad, what's going on?" Like,
No. So there are a few challenging questions he does pose to me. Okay, not in that sense of relationships, not in that sense of stuff like that. Look, with him, like I said, mainly with my mom.
yes.
It's only now that I had to obviously step in and do this. But it's not like I was completely absent from his life. I was there. You know, he always knew that this is my father, A, B, and C. It was circumstances, environments. I was always basically living like a bachelor for a very long time.
Yes.
You know, and I always thought because when he was young, we used to have chats. You know, we used to talk a lot. You know, and as time grew, as he grew up, and as time went, I realized that he became more withdrawn.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that up until he started living with me. And I thought, you know what, maybe I'll give him space. But it's about trying to engage, but at the same time knowing when to back off. I don't know. I'm just trying, guys. I'm not. Don't take this as gospel. This is what I'm trying because, like I'm saying, like there's times I need to think about the next day. How am I going to tackle this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to like that? It's always challenging. You understand? But there are certain things we speak about. We speak a lot about soccer. So I kind of feel like that's how we connect.
Engage.
Yeah, you understand. But there's times you can also see that I'm not there. I'm also still human. You understand? I also tell them guys that sometimes I really just need a break because there's a lot going on. I need to make sure that you guys are fine. I need to make sure this is fine. That is happening. So there's times I really can't answer your questions or I can't deal with certain things, and that's me being honest. Because remember, they want honesty. You know, but that doesn't phase the two little ones because trust me, they are there. I think when I say I need some time, the little one starts comes play next to me there. You know,
It's like not
Okay,
a
maybe
chance
he's
there.
making sure that I'm okay, or maybe he's
Yes.
just checking to make
Yes.
sure that spiritually he's out. You know, and I think that I appreciate because I remember with my eldest one, I was going through some stuff once upon a time. I was still living in Randburg, and I went to bed. So he was one of my housemates. So I went to bed, and he came to lay next to me, and he just started rubbing my back.
So it's
Like
like you
patting,
sense it.
yeah, like patting my
That's
back,
amazing.
and we fell asleep. So those are moments that,
Yes. Yes.
like,
Like you can't take away.
never. You understand? Like, dude, when that boy started talking, the first thing he called is Joe. There was no mom, dad, or anything. My kids, you guys should know this. They call me by my name. So there's no dad or pa or whatever. Yes, they know I'm their father, but they call me by my name, and people find it very weird. Look, I found it weird for a long time, but I'm okay with it now. But they're different. I think they see me. They see my character. They see who I'm trying to be. Because I'm also still trying to be a certain type of person.
100%.
You understand? I'm a work in progress, just like them.
That is true.
And I think we sometimes we're honest with the wrong things. When I say we're honest with the wrong things, we want to portray the forever strong. You
And
understand?
that's not the
Guys,
true nature of the person.
I know a lot of people will say, yeah, you don't cry in front of your kids because you need to show them that you're strong and yeah, but guys, the day that kid breaks down,
Yeah.
I found myself as a man, I found myself a lot of times when the world just
Crumble.
pounds one way pounces, you understand? And do you really want to tell me it's that bad that you can't in front of your kid? Because if your kid does not see emotion through you, who they want to see through?
Exactly.
The TV will teach them. Other people outside will teach them.
And
You understand? And it's not that you cry in front of
Yes.
them, and like because it's on purpose or anything like that. You understand? But you're gonna have to show your kids some negative emotion, if I can put it that way. You understand?
There should be a
Some
balance.
negative-
There
There should be some form of
Fully
balance.
agree.
You can't just teach your kid that everything is perfect up until the world hits them. And when the world hits them,
They won't
what
know
are
how
they
to
gonna
tell you
do?
back. They won't even know how to ask you to tell you. The reactions are just going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a mess.
I think like dealing with kids, kids don't respond too well to anger.
Yeah.
towards
And
them.
loud voices and stuff.
No, it's just
Yeah, I know.
it's just I think in some instances it's just
I don't think anyone responds nice to that, eh?
I mean, I think
I
it's
think
because
it's a
we're
general
all
thing,
people,
really.
that's why
Yeah,
none of
but
us
like-
want that.
yeah, but I mean my approach has always been like taking a step back and just being silent. You know, having that disappointed look as a man, as
Yes.
a father
Yes.
figure, what it does more to the kid versus
You shouting.
shouting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you will catch yourself. I might be wrong, Themba. I might be wrong. I like I said, I speak purely from my experience. But there's gonna come a time, or there might be a time where you catch yourself and you go. Even the most calmest people in this world have got those triggers.
Yes.
You know that thing where this child just
And kids know how to do that. They
And
will
you-
poke.
you understand? Like-
That's the thing. Maybe my experience with working with kids has taught me that kids know when it's the time to like
no, they're very manipulative.
mess with you the most.
Yes.
They're very manipulative.
And
Yeah.
there's almost gotta be like a default mode. And from my perspective, right, my default mode is one of affirmation when it comes to kids. It's one of I'm proud. That's my default mode. And it's like I celebrate every small little win that a child makes, but I am not quick to react to the L's. You know what I mean? But when they do have an L in their life, I just show like a bit of, but that's not how I taught you to do things. Who's teaching you these things? And I ask them questions like, okay, who's showing you this? You know what I mean? Okay, cool. That person is showing you that thing. Is that person any good at what they're doing? You know what I mean? Um, as a coach, I'm like, can the person who taught you how to do that way, do you think he can take me down like that? You know?
No, they're trying to challenge the daddies up in
But like that's the thing as well. It's like when you're looking at your kids, it's like, but that person who's teaching you to behave that way in the in your home, right? Is that person providing for you? Like I am, you know. And then it sparks that question, and you ask like, "Then why do you follow that person? You know, what value do you get from that?" And that's how I think conversations have been sparked where I'm going back and forth with a lot of kids to the point where I have relatively good relationships with a lot of kids, you know, where kids gravitate to me, but when it comes to me disciplining them, it's like I I'm not scared to discipline you. I'm gonna have to discipline you. You know, you don't have a choice. We don't have a say in any of this. And in my class, I have a rule. You know, I'm like, this is a fun environment. This is a safe environment. This is the best environment for you. But the day that you can beat me will be the day that you will tell me what to do as a coach. You know what I mean? Then you become the coach. And I think within the same context of like a home, right? The day that you pay your own bills, you know, that's the day that you can do whatever you want.
You can open
You
the
know what I mean? Well, that's a bit extreme.
You can open the fridge.
Well,
You know,
You can have something to
usually
eat.
you just pop out the milk. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But Danny, you've kind of been reserved in this
Yeah, in the
conversation.
background, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wanting us to do all the work,
Like,
yeah.
I think I'm trying to lead the people who are fathers and who have kids around them to do the work. Because I ain't got none of those. I'm not even gonna trip.
Don't lie, bro.
No, man.
No.
There's no that alcohol.
No.
There's no that alcohol here. No one's looking for me.
But what about your nephew? Because like you say, we've had these conversations
Yes,
a lot of times.
yes.
And
100%.
I've seen you father those kids.
You know, it's crazy. Look, I don't have kids of my own, right?
That you know of.
I mean, we never know at this point. At this point, but I've been a good boy for quite a long time. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not sure. But yeah, so honestly speaking, like on my own, nothing so far as I know. But I've got nephews, you know, 2 nephews up in there. One is 11, he just became a teenager. I think 11 is teenage breakdown, right? If I'm not mistaken.
You're
I don't know,
asking me
man.
other things now.
Do you work on the number saying 12, 13? I'm waiting for that. Okay, fine. 11 and the other's 3, right? So initially, I know my first nephew when he was young, and people ask him, like, where's your dad? And he pointed me. You know, even when I go to his school meetings, he's like, where's your dad? There. You know, and I'll be standing there like, yeah, I mean, I was still young, but I think he, you know, but I took it with respect. You know, I was like, I understand where he's coming from. I'm the only man in the family, so let me show him what a man is like. I don't even know 100% what a man is. Honestly speaking, I'm still learning. You know, I don't even know what a father looks like because I never had my dad in my life as well. I mean, it's kind of like one of those structures where it's difficult to pass on what you don't have.
Ish.
So it's a difficult one because I mean I was raised by the streets, literally. I'm for the streets, but not on the streets right now.
Yeah.
Just making sure, you know.
Even us.
I'm for the streets. So I mean I was raised by my friends' fathers, and when I say I was raised, I was watching how they were raised, teaching my friends. You know, when they discipline my friends, what they shouldn't do, what they should do. I mean I would go to rugby games. You know, like I got a match, we come up, me and my friend would go pack our stuff, go to play rugby. His family's got his mom and dad, they got cameras, you know, they're already, you know, watching while he's playing as well, they're taking pictures, they're supporting him, you know, they're waving those school flags and all that. And then I'll be playing, I'm just looking, I'm like, yeah, la, 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 nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know? So I mean it was tough, but at the same time I was picking up little by little.
Yeah.
And watch, on TV we also learn. I mean, TV is not the same as previously. With a lot of ninjas and a whole lot of Bruce Lee, and
And you just wanted to take revenge.
exactly. So
All you wanted to do is take revenge.
that's what it was, honestly speaking. So I had a mix of a lot of things happening. I see guys on the streets drinking. I see guys on the streets working. I see, it was just, so I had to take piece and piece and try restructure it as I got older. What's important for me, what's necessary, and what's needed in society, So obviously raising these guys, I mean, these bad boys are a mouthful, I won't lie. Like, especially raising boys, they are a mouthful, I would not even lie.
Yeah, it's not easy.
That's not the easiest thing ever. I mean, the oldest one is technically starting to he just hit puberty. I mean, he was asking me some serious questions. I never got a chance to ask anyone. I couldn't even ask my mom, like, dude, because I knew our bodies were different at a certain age already. I had no choice but to know, So he's asking me questions, and I was literally sitting there and I was like, damn, you feel so at ease asking this question and finding the answer. I was there struggling. I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is this? Voice breaking, thinking I'm sick, like pimple, the acne stage, the girls coming after me after the girls, I did not know. So at that stage of like you said, there's no way of teaching kids. Like there's always a discipline that you can instill, even if you don't shout. It could just be even the look. And then they understand that. So I don't believe. I think I've probably only hit my nephew once, but this because I was old and I was very very scared because he had put crayons up his nose. And every time I didn't know at first what was happening because he couldn't breathe it because he wanted to close his mouth and he was very young. And it just kept, and it just, I was like, whoosh. And then eventually, while he was fighting to breathe, one of them popped out and popped back in. And I knew what this was. And when I popped them, like I literally managed to get them both out, he started laughing like it was a game.
And yeah, your heart
I'm scared. So I gave him a spanking, old full spanking, 1, 2, And I didn't feel good about that. But afterwards, after that hit, I give the look. That's not the look that, man. I'm not trying to get arrested and the cops gonna take me to jail because the children up in there.
Have you ever spanked a kid?
Have I ever spanked a kid? Have I ever spanked my kids? Is that what you're asking?
Well,
That's what I'm asking. You understand?
You are just sure about this question.
No, you understand.
The thing is, here's the thing. Remember what I'm talking about. It's my approach is the whole raising the community.
Yes.
Your child is my child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If Jasmine is misbehaving, find a way to discipline her one way or the other. You know what I mean? Not just gonna be like, it's shop.
But you know what's interesting is how times have changed, because remember, you live in a world now where kids have rights. You're not allowed to spank them.
No.
You're not allowed to hit them.
No.
And they can tell you whatever they want to. But in my household,
thank you. I was waiting for
in
that.
my home,
I was waiting for that.
in my culture,
Under my roof,
there's certain things you will not get away with. I'm sorry to say that, because truth be told, the same government that will implement rules like that, are the same government that won't even look after your kids. They don't care if your child is eating. They don't care if they're clothed. They don't care that your child goes to school. They don't care when your child is sick. Have you ever had to sit with a sick child, bruh, overnight, throughout the night and not sleep? So there's certain things that you implement rules, they implement rules, not knowing how will it affect people in the house. In my home, what Joshua says goes.
that's it.
Because Joshua's the one that has to go through every little thing, not the government. not people in charge. Just like this nonsense that they're trying with the Bella Bill.
Mm.
That, dude, I'm totally against that.
Mm.
You are not going to tell me how to educate my child.
Yes.
You're not going to tell me what kind of chemicals you're going to put into my child and force it upon them.
Mm.
That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. I do not pay tax for you to tell me how to live my life.
100%.
I put you there as a representative. You cannot come back and say to me, this is how I want you to live.
Mm.
Because currently, when we look at it, and I always say this, we as the people, we're very polite about these things. But I'm deviating because it was supposed to be about my own.
Yeah. No,
Let me bring it back.
I'm full on
Let me
that.
bring it back.
Yeah.
Let me bring it back.
Just,
Yeah. You understand? But guys, you know what? I think every person, as long as there is a line that you cross, obviously, when it comes to abuse. And we're not just talking about lifting your hand.
Yes.
Because other people have got ways of breaking you with words.
Emotional.
Other
mental.
people can break you emotionally.
Emotional
Damage.
They're just waiting for that.
And some parents do that.
Mm.
Some parents do that.
Just
I might
always-
not know, but I might also be one of those parents. I think that I might be doing the right
And
thing.
then you find
And
out
you,
that
and you notice sometimes you think whatever you're doing is the way. You understand?
because it makes sense in your head. That's the thing.
I remember having a conversation with my son once, and I said to him, show me a good father, and I'll show you a good son.
Damn.
The reason why I said that is because those two things do not exist.
No.
They do not exist. You can never have a good father. You can never have a good son. And most probably people will think like I'm crazy. No. Dude, what I'm saying is you've got a father that's either got good intentions for you or got bad intentions for you. And trust me, you're gonna try and work on the good more, né? But you're not gonna get it 100%. Because
So-
as you are learning in this life, right?
Yes.
There are certain things you learn from. Is when you learn from your mistakes, meaning that you did something wrong, meaning you did something bad. So you're learning from that. So that means you can never be 100% a good person.
You know, when you say that, it always takes me back to this approach where I say, kids don't listen. Kids don't listen.
You need to repeat it.
They watch.
attention span.
Yeah.
No, they watch. They watch what you're doing, and it's very important how you carry yourself out around your kids. It's very, very important.
Have you noticed how my life has changed in the past 3 years?
It has. And I hope I'm not throwing you under the bus.
Hoi, Gazi, hoi.
But
If I can hoi the government under the bus, hoi me. It's
Might as
fine.
well go with it.
you recently stopped smoking.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah, so this is how it started. At Themba's wedding,
Yes.
what's his name? Setu.
Mhm.
Setu. Said, oh, you smoke? I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to quit. So he's like, no, try this thing. Like a vape.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
You understand? So 3 months ago, I tried the vape. And I stuck to the vape.
Oh.
3 months ago, tried the vape, stuck to the vape. I haven't smoked the vape in almost 2 weeks now.
Really? So you were out there sitting just puffing.
I haven't smoked the vape in 2 weeks because episode 3 was 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
And that was the last pod I have because it's a specific thing.
Yes, yes,
And I
yes.
think the Monday or the Tuesday of the it finished. It's still finished. I haven't refilled.
And you feel
So I haven't smoked. And yesterday and the day before, it really hit me. Like
Like you will be smoking.
like it hit me. And what makes it sad is I don't like the taste of cigarettes anymore.
Well done. Well,
I don't like the
congratulations.
taste, but I kid you not, I'm not holier than thou that you think. Guys, I can most probably be sitting with my brother or something,
Yes,
and I'll take 2 puffs
yes.
as a reminder. And I'm like,
Yeah, because I'm sure
I literally want to say to him, this is.
Yes.
I mean, that's why I'm hitting with this whole conversation where, I mean, a lot of parents, right, are very upset that their kids engage in certain
No, we're hypocrites, man.
in certain
We're
behaviors.
hypocrites, guys.
And you might not be a smoking parent, but you could be a parent that is involved in other things. I don't know, like
Yeah.
for example, right? Your child drinks alcohol, You know what I'm saying? But you neglecting the fact that you're always bringing different women into the house, or there's different men coming in and out of the house. It's small things like that, you know. And we always think that, you know what, but I don't smoke. Where
Why
did
is
you
it with
learn?
this?
Where
Exactly.
did you learn smoking from? If the kid smokes because you smoked, hey, you are what he is, what you are, and it's something that you're gonna have to
And
kind of deal with.
you're
You know
right
what I mean?
there, because that's a discussion I had with my son. No, it wasn't necessarily a discussion. We were driving, and I literally just said to him, you know what, something just hit me. I don't want you to do certain things that I'm actually doing.
Mm.
And it's probably, and I think we've had this discussion where I say that we're walking hypocrites, all of us.
100%. I fully agree.
All of us, we walking hypocrites. We
Yeah.
say one thing,
And then
but
we
we
do
do
the
the
opposite.
opposite.
Very true.
We do the opposite.
Mm.
And it's one of those things where I said to him, you must really see me as a hypocrite.
Mm.
Like there was, I just said, to be honest.
Mm.
I come down on you hard on other things, man, but I want to do it all willingly just because I'm over 18.
You know,
Just
what-
because
what-
there's a
Yes,
standard
because
that's
there's
being
a
set.
step by the government
one
saying
thing,
you
understand?
can't do
one
this.
thing that has
Yeah.
been like a sobering thing for me is that whole thing of because I'm an adult, I'm permitted to do certain things. And it's like, you know what? I go to bed as early as 7 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? 7:38 probably is the latest that I go to bed. And how, as a child, you would benefit a lot from going to sleep that early.
I'm gonna make example. Finish up there. Yeah.
So I was chatting
I wanna make
I was having this conversation with my wife
Yeah.
recently about that aspect of just how we're gonna do bedtime. We're not gonna put the kids to bed and then us we are sitting there. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not how things are gonna work. When they go to bed, we go to bed. That's just gonna be the standard in the house. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be a hypocrisy thing where we say,
Go to bed.
yeah, go to bed. You know?
But you see, Gazi, that's a tough one.
Hey,
You
bro,
know
I'm
why?
thinking like,
You know why?
yeah.
Remember, I think I think I put the perfect example, me being in a situation that I'm
Yes, yes,
in.
yes.
Do you understand?
Mm.
I work the night shift.
So yes. When you're kids,
So
It's
so
slightly
it
different,
switches, you know.
Yes, yes.
So,
slightly
but
different.
I do understand the benefits. I'll tell you this much. So with these kids, they love the phone. They YouTube and they YouTube and
even if you tell them go to bed, that phone is under the
it's there,
blanket.
you know. So
Yes.
recently, it's not that I'm very strict about it, but I've tried to implement 8 o'clock, 8:30. You understand? To make sure, because I've seen with the little one, he went to bed once because we had people over, visitors over, you know, we went over time, and he went to bed like after 10.
Mm.
You understand? And he was saying to me he's feeling sick the next day. And I looked at him, I was like, no, you're not sick.
Yeah, I didn't sleep enough.
You didn't sleep enough.
Yeah.
And I understood.
Mhm.
So when I take him to bed at 8, do you know how easy it is for me to wake him up in the morning?
Yes.
For him to wake up.
Mm.
You understand? When he goes to bed later, you know what a mission it is to get that boy up.
It's like slow and
Now the sister
responsive.
also, with her also later, now it's also earlier. She's also starting to realize the benefits of going to bed earlier.
It's
You
true.
understand? Because now I don't have to struggle with her either. She actually gets up by herself.
And that's important.
She gets up by herself. You understand? And that is what I took from that. You understand? In terms of going to bed, guys, unfortunately, I can't. I have to do editing sometimes. I have to read sometimes. I have to. There's some things I have to do. Sometimes my work I couldn't finish it during the day. I'm gonna have to do it at night. And I'm trying to move away from screen time after 9, especially.
Yes.
I'm trying to move away because I've realized dude, I'm out, babe. Like I tap out. I was telling Peter the other day, yesterday actually. I said to him, 10 o'clock is latest, dude. 10 o'clock, I'm finished. I want to sleep.
He's get to 10, probably 7.
But
Yeah, you know.
you finish, bruh. And I think you can attest to this. There's times when I work night shift and I haven't slept for days.
Damn, you're like a pimp on the streets, bro.
But that's besides the point. I mean, the truth of the matter is,
You want to create a culture.
there's certain cultures
Yeah,
that you
I see where you're coming from.
you should like create within your household, and it's also.
But it's not easy. Think about this. It's
But
not
that's
easy.
trust me. The best results come out of doing the most difficult things. That's just how.
But
it is.
you see, that's where we're not going to agree. The reason why I'm saying this is because I made the example. I work the night shift.
Yeah.
That cannot be the exception to say that, oh no, it's okay because you work the night shift. You understand? Sometimes it's like what I'm trying to create, sometimes it's not going to come from my action.
Yes.
It's not going to come from that as a parent.
Mm.
Because you don't know what your situation will be 2 or 3 years from now.
No, of course.
Do you understand? And I think that's where we need to learn to be open-minded. So luckily I've taken the culture where my son, he loves it. He says to me, Josh, can you please come suck me in?
Oh.
You understand? And then I take him and then I get there and then we say a prayer and then I go out of the room and say, good night guys, sleep well, and then I go out. That's different for me. That even feels weird because I was not raised like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
I was not raised like that. But this guy taught me
how to do it.
I must tuck him in and then he gives me the blanket. I must put the blanket over him. He taught me. Do you understand? I don't know these things. I sometimes feel even out of.
You see, that's the thing. Where and we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw.
Yeah. But like, it was a very interesting conversation. It was a very organic, very organic conversation that we had. It was flowing, just like everything we've been doing since episode 1. Yeah, you know, they flow really well. You know,
they go down like dry lemon.
There's no
Very dry.
Very disappointing. And it's not some brand of dry sleeve.
That was a pure dead joke. Try.
But anyways,
Yeah.
without throwing anything or anyone under the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it was very.
You just had to look at it like yeah, it flow, right?
It was a very it's a wholesome conversation, and
Yes.
I hope that we can pick up a lot of value from just. I mean, I picked up quite a lot of value just being engaged in this conversation, and hope that our listeners can find some value in this. And you know what, we'd really love to hear from you guys. Hit us up on our WhatsApp number. It will appear just now on the screen, whether below me, below somewhere. It's gonna appear.
Somewhere.
No, it will definitely appear.
It
I will make sure it appears right here.
You know, and
That's
don't forget to subscribe. You know, hit the like button
and share.
and share. We now want that algorithm to start going forward. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So please do your due diligence in getting us the Gazi revolution out there.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to close off, Gazi?
Basically, guys, thank you very much. I'm always going to do this. Thank you very much for the support. I do know that there's a few people that always hit me up to say, "Hey, Gazi, listen to the latest episode." You know, guys, thank you so much for the support. I know there's people that listen to me every week. Myself and Themba talking. You understand, guys? Your support means a lot. But please just make sure that you share with other people because you don't know if someone needs this, eh? There might be a lot of people out there that needs to hear this kind of talks. Don't keep it to yourself. You know. Yes, I know it will be like a chain. You know those chain messages. You know. But guys, please share. Let's grow this platform. We are still going to keep this consistent. We will come up with fresh content each and every week when we come in. I do understand that we were supposed to cover environments though, but we are still working on that one. We will definitely get back to you because we would love to have a bigger panel when it comes to that. If we can get a few guys also online, that would also be amazing, amazing. But guys, just to reiterate, please subscribe, please comment, please share, please put on the notification bell.
Exactly.
Please,
The same way you share to your boyfriend and your girlfriend.
please share the links, guys. Please share the links, because from there we can only grow and we can make sure that this platform stays the way that it is. Thank you so much, and we are Benny Boy.
Let me close it up. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and hit the bell up. You hit up the comments any way you want. Tell us what you guys like. You got Themba up in here, Pretty Boy up in here, and we got my man Josh right here, guys.
Okay.
We love seeing you. We will discuss more stuff if I'm invited. But it's been great having you guys here and watching us. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. And we are out.